Hello, COVID recovery group. What a very interesting and special gang we are. Um, my name is Suzy. Thanks for having a look at the vid. I have promised you that I would put together a yoga class for people who, like myself, are recovering from a longer version of COVID than those lucky folk that just had it for a couple of weeks. Because what I read from all of the comments, and they really rang true for me too, was just the frustration and the kind of disconnection from our old selves that many people are feeling, and that we have to really come up with a different way of rehabilitating ourselves now with such a long-term illness. And we can't go back instantly to our old ways of life. We need to do it much, much, much more gently. And I've learned that quite significantly over my 12-week journey. So I think March 24th was when I started. And my dip, I thought I'd draw you a line. It's kind of an interesting process. Maybe you want to do this yourself, but it's my really high-tech graph. So this is me happy, super fit and well just before this all kicked off. And my first tip was like, okay, I have this thing. I'm having all the symptoms, but I didn't have a cough ever. And then after a couple of weeks, kind of got back up and then dropped because I was doing too much and teaching in my new and online exciting virtual environment, and recovered from that, and then like crashed. Okay. And it was in this moment that I had all of the big mental shift that needed to happen, which was, this is not like anything you've done before, so don't treat it so. You have to accept that you are ill and you're not helping yourself. So I had a bit of a chat with myself. And that chat has been very useful because I am now prioritizing above all anything else, prioritizing my health and prioritizing rest and not taking on too many other things. And that is beginning to make a difference. And I'm also not expecting myself to have turned a corner or feel better yet, because those two things were really big pressures that I was feeling from myself and from the people around me, my family, etc. So I want the same thing for you to kind of really consider. I want you to really understand that what we're going to do here now on the mat is going to be level 1, access anyone, simple stuff. Okay. My goal is to make 4 sessions. Level 1, like super accessible. Level 2, just a tiny bit more. Level 3, a little bit more when you're feeling a bit more like you can do stuff. And level 4, when you're feeling like, okay, I'm beginning to get myself back into my life. Okay. But I want you to think of it as a rehab program, like a rehabilitation program from being very, very ill, because this is what it is, right? So we're about to do the level 1. Now, what I know is that COVID is like snakes and ladders. Okay. So you might be kind of like, oh yeah, feeling good again. And then you go down a snake and you have to take some time to go up the ladder. So if you're going to keep the 4 sessions, and we're going to do 4 PT sessions as well to build up a little tiny bit of strength, you'll be able to work through those really simply. And you can go back to level 1, you can do level 2. If you get up to level 4 really quickly and you have another dip, you can start again. So just have it and use them as a resource. Share them with anyone, okay? Because the thing that I really felt was nothing is out there right now that's offering me what I need. I don't think anyone gets it unless you've got it, right? And we've all got it, and I get it. So that's why I feel on a good day today is a kind of, if I'm looking at kind of numbers out of 10, 10 being, wow, feel amazing. I'm at like a 3 to a 4, which is actually pretty good. So I thought I'll make my first one and post it, and then we can all begin. All right. You will need, I'm going to turn and look at my yoga mat. You will need some kind of nice thing to lie on. So if you're working on a hard floor, please put like a blanket, or even just get your cover from your bed. If you've got a yoga mat, great. For this first session, I want you to have a pillow from your bed and a little cushion for under your head, because we're going to lift the back slightly and do some breathing to start with. And then you're going to need a belt, okay? And I'm talking about like a dressing gown belt or a leather belt or something that you can put around your foot so that we can just do a little bit of leg stretching. Nothing at all to raise the heart rate particularly, but if your heart's anything like mine, it's going bananas most of the time at the moment anyway. So shortness of breath sometimes for me is an issue, so I might try and speak a bit less at times. But let's give it a go, all right? So if you want to press pause because you're going to go and get your stuff, do that, and then I'll pick it up again, okay? I'm going to move my chair out of the way. If you want to know, if you're interested, I've been qualified as an Iyengar Yoga style teacher since like 22 years. And so I've been teaching a little bit before that. So I've been teaching on the whole around 25 years, and I've worked with a lot of people with medical conditions. And so I think you're going to be pretty safe with me, but this is a gift, this class, okay? If anyone feels they need to sue me, that would be bad. I can't imagine there's anything that we're going to do that would put me in that position, but here, that is my disclaimer. This is given with love, okay? And hopefully that me asking you to lie on your back and breathe gently isn't going to give you any untoward experiences. We're going to be okay. So I just need to find my own belt. Oh, there it is. I'm going to lie down on the floor. So you've got what you need. Oh, I need to tilt the screen. Sorry. Anyone would think I hadn't done this before. We've been doing this a lot with this whole new online world. So you see where I've got my pillow? I'm going to sit on the floor on my mat, and I'm going to pull the pillow in to meet me, but I'm not going to sit on the pillow. And I'm going to lie back, and I've got my head supported by a little extra cushion. My pillow is supporting my chest, so it just lifts and opens those ribs a little bit. And I've got my legs bent because that allows my pelvis to be tilted very gently. So nothing is experiencing any kind of strain at all. However, if you are someone that does not like lying like this, please make any adjustment to suit, okay? You don't have to stay like this. All I'm going to ask you to do now is close your eyes. So I'm just going to talk. You've got your eyes closed. We're all here together in our special gang. And I want you to breathe slowly. Just slow it down a tiny bit. And it might be that getting here and lying down has made you feel a little bit out of breath. That's normal. That's happening for me. So I'm just letting the breath settle in my body. And I want you to simply notice how you are. And what's happening for you right now. So observe any symptoms of COVID that you might be experiencing, and just observe them without judgment. So for me, I'm sure, I think I've read in the Facebook group, I have lots of icy feeling, these kind of strange feelings like someone's holding ice near my skin. And I have different parts of my body that feel that constantly. And I'm not judging it, I'm not making it bad or good. I'm just acknowledging that that's how it is right now. And I know that at some point, it will change. So you're checking in with yourself. How am I? What is happening? Almost be curious. And then I want you to have a little moment of thinking, what is it that I want from doing this class, from this session? For some of you, it will be about calming the mind and taking some of the anxiety and panic out of this whole experience. For others, it will be just to connect back in with your body, to kind of stretch out, to loosen out. If it's anything like me, I'm spending lots of time in bed, sometimes days at a time, and my body doesn't feel good anymore. And I know that when I do some yoga practice, it really helps. So for you, just work out what is it. It might just simply be to feel connected to other people going through the same experience, and that is a huge gift to all of us, I think. Okay. I'm going to get you to put your hands on your ribs now. So I've still got my elbows on the floor. And we're going to very, very gently slow down the inhale so that it takes a tiny bit longer than it would normally. And slow down the exhale so that that too takes a tiny bit longer. And that's it, that's all we're doing. We're lengthening the inhale and we're lengthening the exhale. It might be that that's uncomfortable for you. It really depends what's happening with your chest, with your breathing, with your lungs. So if you need to moderate, if you need to just breathe normally for this and only think about that inhale, exhale, just as an action that's happening rather than trying to change it, then that's fine. But what I want you to know is that as you consciously slow down your breath, so the amygdala in the brain, where our fight, freeze, flight response is, that stands down from high alert. And I think we've probably all been on high alert, and our sleeping patterns are affected. And actually just calming down, using that slower breath, is a real gift. So as you lie there, actively working on slowing down your breathing to the best of your ability, I want you to see if you can allow the mind to also slow down. Switch off some of the thoughts, take them at a slower pace. Let go of some of them for now. And just drop right into the moment with me, lying here, breathing. That's all that matters right now. Okay. For some of you, if just slowing down your breathing is enough, you can stay right here doing that. We are going to move on to doing something a little bit more with the body now. We're not getting up, but we are going to move the cushion and the pillow out of the way. So I'm just going to roll onto my side, nice and careful, move them off my mat. They're there if you need them. But because we're going to be doing something with the neck, it's nice to have the pillow and the cushion out of the way. So I'm back down on the mat. And now I've got my arms above my head. Oh, and for me, because I have spent so much time in bed, my upper back, neck and shoulders are really tight. So just doing this for me is quite a stretch at the moment. And I've been practicing yoga, never mind teaching, for a really, really long time. So don't be surprised if when you take your arms back, you think, oh my word. But you can move them. So I'm not holding them still. I'm just going to move them up and down a couple of times to loosen through until they're happy, just to find that stillness. I've got my elbows dropping down towards the floor. I'm going to tuck my chin in very gently. Okay, we're going to roll up through the spine in some really gentle bridge work, okay? So let's take a slow, deep breath in. As you exhale, tilt your pelvis up towards the ceiling and roll up, peeling the back up off the floor, and just push the hips up. So this is just to work through flexibility in the spine, and also a little bit of work to strengthen the legs. Inhale, and then exhale, let's roll down through the back. Vertebra by vertebra if you can. If that was enough and doing one means you now need to rest, then rest, okay? We're going to do 2 more if you want to do 2 more. You can do 1 more if you want to do 1 more. Let's do it together. Deep breath in. And breathing out. Peel that back up off the floor, pressing the hips up. Holding for a moment. Inhale. And exhale. Let's roll all the way down. Okay, and again, you can stop here and rest, or you can join me for a third. Deep breath in. And let's roll up, all the way up. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to roll back down. Great. We're just taking another couple of those slow breaths here, because as I'm sure you can feel, with the arms above the head, you get to stretch open those ribs. And I know many of you have had coughs, and lots of us have had shortness of breath. And actually stretching open the intercostal muscles, allowing the diaphragm muscle to stretch out a little bit, the abdomen. It's really, really going to help take some of that tension away that will build up because of all of those other issues. Okay. I'm going to move on from here. I'm bringing the knee in, the right knee in. I'm going to hug it into my chest, and I'm going to flatten down the other leg. I'm going to draw that knee in as much as is comfortable, and I'm pressing the straight leg down. Okay. With just my right hand on that knee, I'm going to take it out wide to the side. Just opening through the hips so I can feel a stretch from my inner thigh into the groin area. Good. Keep the hips moving. Bring it back to center. Change hands on that knee. Now I'm placing that right arm out wide on the floor. And I'm going to take that bent knee across the body now, really carefully into a twist. Now these twists are great, particularly if, like me, and I know many, many of you, have had gastrointestinal issues. My God, have we? Just giving the abdominal area a little bit of a twist and using a deep breath in there to treat that as a kind of little massage for the area is really good for taking out some of the tight muscle cramping feelings that many of you will have had. Again, all of this work we're doing is gentle. Think of it as undoing knots. Our aim with this work is to not make you fit and well. Our aim is to get you recovering. Deep breath in. And bring it back to center. Now, this is where I'm going to use my belt. I just need to look around for it. Oh, I did put it very handily next to me. Hopefully yours is too. I'm going to take the belt and put it around the ball of that right foot and just have a little go at straightening it up. Now, I'm quite flexible. I haven't lost my flexibility because of COVID, but you may find that your straight leg is somewhere down here. That's fine, okay? What I want you to do is straighten it, okay? Don't think you need to have the foot back over your head and then as a result bend your leg. I'd rather that you straightened it and were really honest with yourself about where that ends up. That's fine. So with your straight leg, just hold it here. Gently inverting bits of the body is good for circulation. So just keeping the body moving is great, but we're not putting it under any particular exertion. That's important. Now my leg's beginning to shake a bit, so if mine is, yours might be too. We're going to bring that leg down and just stretch it away so it feels nice and long on the floor. Oh, and I can feel the blood moving back into the foot. Great. That means the circulation had a little bit of stimulation, which is good. None of us want DVT. I'm going to bring in the second side. Let's draw that knee in and hold it here. Breathe. And then again, with just the left hand on that knee, I'm going to take that knee out wide, opening through the hip. Breathe slowly. Bring it back to center. Change hands on that knee. Take that left arm out wide and take that knee carefully across the body. Now, I think I've seen a post about some people saying old injuries have reawoken themselves with the COVID virus entering your body. So for me, an old back injury, I'm feeling that right now in my sacroiliac. So I'm going to be more careful on this side, not work too deep. And I really want you to also notice when you need to adjust as much, or adjust enough to make sure you're not pushing yourself, okay? But again, we're in that twist, so focusing on getting the breath down into the abdomen is good. Deep breath in. And bring it back to center. So we're going to straighten the leg up again. Pick up your belt. And stretch that leg up in the air. Breathe. So again, spending the time to make sure you're at a point where you can straighten the leg, where you get that benefit of the stretch. The more you bring the toes down towards you, the more you stretch those calf muscles. And mine have been feeling really tight, so this feels quite good. Deep breath in. And okay, let's release on that side, bring it down. I'm going to get the belt out of the way. I'm bending both legs. And I'm going to take the side of the foot, the side of my right foot, and put it on the front of the left thigh. So hopefully you can see that. Because my knee opens out kind of flat in line with my foot, you might not. If I tip myself over, you'll see it now. There we go. So this is Pigeon Pose, essentially. So I know there's lots of you out there that practice yoga, and you might be thinking, when's the yoga going to start? This is the yoga that we need right now. Nothing else. We will get there in maybe class 4. We'll do something else that looks a little bit more like a yoga practice, but again, it will be modified. Because there's a million yoga classes out there, right? This is different. Okay, so I've put my leg in this shape. Now, for some of you, your hips might be really tight or you might have knee injuries. I just want you to notice any signals that your body's giving you. We sort of need to treat ourselves a little bit like a newborn baby. If you've ever had one of those or know one, you'll know that whenever there's a signal that they give, the very attentive parent rushes to it and is like, what's the matter? What's happening? I want you to be like that with your body. So if there's a pain or a discomfort, I need you to be really careful with it and respectful of it, because we are really fragile, about as fragile as a newborn baby at times right now. So don't do anything that doesn't feel good. However, I've allowed you to be there for a while, so hopefully you figured it out. If your leg feels fine, we're going to lift up both legs and take a stretch. If it didn't feel fine on the floor and that was enough, you can either stay here or please just release out of it, okay? If you're doing okay, lift up. Now I've reached through between the legs and one around the outside, and I can hold my shin. Some of you may be holding your thigh, and some of you may be back down here already, okay? But we're just going to stay wherever you are and take a little moment to breathe slowly, create some space. So this is a great stretch if you've not been able to get around or walk anywhere particularly, because it's going to stretch those hips and the glutes, as well as obviously turning out the hip joint. So we're getting some really nice work into that hip joint. Take a deep breath in and let's release down on that side. So I'm going to straighten that leg out and just kind of waggle it on the mat. That's it. Let's go with the second side. I'm going to place the foot. I'm going to spend some time with my inquiry. How is my leg on this side? And the reason why I'm being really careful with you in this exercise is because it's quite a strong stretch. So I don't want anyone to do anything too vigorous and they end up hurting themselves. So I know my knee was saying something to me, but it seems to have settled down now, but I'm going to be particularly careful as I draw up into this side. It doesn't surprise me that my knee is talking to me a little bit because my back injury on this side has reawoken slightly. So again, I'm going to be really mindful as I lift. But let's draw up into the stretch, check it out, see how it feels. Relax the jaw, the tongue, the forehead. Breathe slowly. Okay. For me, this feels good. Hopefully it does for you too. And if it doesn't, I'm assuming you've adjusted. Deep breath in. And let's release the leg on that side. I'm going to straighten it down, give it a little waggle. Okay. Good. So I've got both legs bent. I'm actually going to cross the right leg all the way over the left leg. And then I'm going to draw both knees up. One hand on each shin and just draw them in. We're just working to loosen up through the back. I can really feel it stretching here in the right side of my bum. But that's great. If it's too strong for you, make sure you're not pulling deeply. Okay, so find the point where you can work. And again, let's release on that side. Changing side. So for those of you that know your yoga and your yoga poses, this is like a very gentle version of Garudasana, which is cow face pose, just with the legs, but Supta Garudasana. So Supta is lying down, which means that the rest of the body can be totally supported and we can just get the benefit of the stretch through the legs. Okay. Deep breath in and release on that side. I'm going to give both knees a hug now and just gently rock a little bit from side to side. Okay. If you feel able to, and some of you won't, but if you feel able to, lift your head and just stretch through the back of the body. Okay. I'm going to come back down, roll over onto my side. Now, if you've been lying down for a while and coming up makes you a bit dizzy, do this bit really slowly, okay? I'm going to slowly push myself up. I'm going to come onto my hands and knees. We're actually heading towards the end of this session, so don't worry if you're beginning to think, oh, I'm tired now. But by all means, you can stop at this point, okay? If you need to lie down, get your pillow, put it under your back. But there's one more thing I'd like us to do. And it's this. It's just cat pose into what I'm calling half dog. I'm going to show you the half dog first. So I've got my knee and my hip in line. I'm going to walk my hands forwards and take a stretch through the arms, through the shoulders and through the chest. So it's quite strong. I've got my elbows off the mat. If you need to put your elbows down on the mat, that's a much softer stretch. I would encourage you to just tinker with it, see how it feels. But if it feels too strong, so already now that I'm holding my arms straight, my muscles in my arms are beginning to shake. And because that's not our focus today, I'm not building strength yet, I'm going to let the elbows come down. Okay. I'm going to do it once more. Just to get that stretch, couple of seconds, couple of nice slow breaths. And then I'm going to bring my hands underneath my shoulders. And so cat pose, cat-cow, is just a lovely way of working the spine. So first of all, I'm shrugging my shoulders down. I'm on my hands and knees, so I'm really well balanced and supported. And I'm going to breathe in and lift my chin up and stick my sit bones up in the air. My sit bones in my bum, the bottom edges of my pelvic bones there. And I'm going to round the back. Just work through breathing out, squeezing the air out. The head drops down, the hips tuck in. And then I'm going to reverse it, breathing in and breathing out. Squeeze the air out. Really let the head drop so that neck gets stretched. And let's do it once more. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, from here, I'm going to sit back into child's pose. So child's pose is just tucking yourself up into a position that you're really comfortable in now. Not everyone is comfortable in child's pose. So if it's easier for you, lie on your back and bring your knees back in. But we're just going to stay here for a few breaths, letting the body kind of tuck up into a little ball. Okay. I'm going to come up. Now you can either stay kneeling or you can sit cross-legged. But we're just going to do one thing for our shoulders, one last thing for our shoulders before we lie down and do a relaxation. I'm going to take a pose called Garudasana, which means eagle. So you see, I've crossed my right elbow over my left. I'll do it the same as you, so I'll work in a position. And I'm going to lift those elbows up. If I turn slightly to the side, you can see me a bit better. And I'm going to drop my chin down. Now I can feel a strong stretch up the back of my neck, which actually feels good. And I can feel a stretch into the rhomboid muscles, which sit under the scapula, your shoulder blades. So those bits, if you've ever had a massage, and that massage worked under your shoulder blades, those knots, that's what you're stretching right now, okay? Because we can't get massages right now in the UK. This is about as close as we can get. Okay. I'm going to lift my chin because just holding my arms here is quite tiring. I'm going to drop my arms down and roll the shoulders back. I'm going to do the second side. So bring up the other arm, cross them over. And again, I'm going to drop the chin down. And then lift and release. So good news is we're just going to lie down for a few breaths and do what's called Shabbat, which is the full relaxation. If you really liked the pillow and the cushion under the head, bring that back in right now. For me, it felt great too, so I'm going to pull it in and put them back on my mat. Remember, when we sit down, we don't sit on the pillow, we pull the pillow to us. Yeah. And then that cushion on top is under the head. So, oh, this feels great. I'm going to lie here. My legs have relaxed and rolled out. Get yourselves comfortable, get yourself settled down. And then close your eyes. So just think back to the beginning of this session and remember what it was that you set as your intention. What did you need from this class? What were you going to focus on? So we're going to bring our sort of focus back to that for a moment. So whatever it was that you kind of found when you asked yourself how you were and what you needed, I want you to think about that. Offer it up to yourself if it's calm mind or less anxiety or just a sense of feeling connected or back into your body, whatever it was. Just really notice if you can sort of begin to create that sensation mentally for yourself right now. But all the time, if you can, keep that breath slow. Jaw relaxed, tongue soft in the mouth, forehead soft. And I'm allowing my body to really sink down into my support. And with every out-breath, I'm actually allowing myself to become more relaxed. So the back of the head is heavy, the backs of the shoulders and arms nice and heavy down onto the floor or wherever they're reaching and making contact. The spine supported, the chest soft, a little more open now, the abdomen soft. The back of the hips heavy on the mat, nice and relaxed. The legs, thigh muscles soft, relaxed. Calf muscles soft, relaxed. And the backs of the heels heavy and the feet relaxed. The whole of the leg just gently turned out. We're not holding anything. We've completely surrendered to gravity. And however we are, whatever we find, whatever symptoms are coming and going for you right now, allow a sense of acceptance. This is not forever. And as you lie here, breathing slowly, finding that sense of acceptance, and really kind of tuning into the part of you that knows you need to really nurture your body right now. As you lie here connecting with that, I want you to know that you've just given your body and your mind a really lovely gift. Now, obviously, you could stay here. You can press pause on whatever device you're watching this on, and you can stay here for as long as you like. But because I don't want to send you a Zoom recording that's 4 hours and 32 seconds, I'm going to bring you gently out of it. So I'm going to take a slow, deep breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to move your fingers and your toes. And then I want you to bend your legs. And just stay there for a moment. And then roll completely onto your side. Open your eyes, refocus. And from your side, carefully push yourself up. So, take a moment, just notice how you are. You might feel all sorts of things. There is no right or wrong. There is no miracle cure that I've just given you. Okay? This is going to be daily work, really gentle. But take some time now to not rush back into doing anything. Maybe go have a sleep. Definitely drink some water. And I want you to know that that was our level 1. That was our do this one as many times as you can until you're ready to do something just a tiny, tiny bit more physical. Okay? At the bottom of the screen, there should be a link to the Facebook page that I've set up where I'm going to post the videos, the recordings, so that you don't need to be scrolling through the COVID recovery group. But I called it, I think, but it's written, my brain's gone a bit COVID, hang on a minute. It's Yoga and PT for Gentle COVID Recovery. Okay, so there is a Facebook group now that exists. So by all means, like that page or join the group or whatever it is you need to do. And that's where you can either make comments about what you've done, or make requests, or simply have access to the recordings if you want to share them out with other people. That's great. Okay. Thanks, guys. Until the next one. Okay, do this one a few times. And we're on this journey together, so we're going to get there. All right. And I'll see you next time. Bye.